Allumage P120 et décollage. Propulsion nominale, début du basculement. Fin du basculement. Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
We have liftoff. Smile has started its journey on board Vega-C, lighting up the night sky as it flies above the European Spaceport here in French Guiana. The range operations manager telling us that the propulsion is nominal. We are heading northeast out over the Atlantic Ocean, and we can hear the rocket now in our commentary box. It's taken this amount of time for the sound to get to us. It lifts off so fast, doesn't it?
Tous les paramètres à bord sont normaux, la trajectoire est nominale.
And we're burning the P120 at the moment, the first stage.
Yes, the name comes from 120 tons of propellant, but now it's fatter, it's 140.
It's gained weight.
However, he has a very thrust-to-weight ratio, so its thrust is double the mass. So we have 2g of acceleration. This means twice the value of gravity.
And we've passed something called the transonic region. What's that?
Yes, the vehicle is now quicker than the sound, the velocity of sound, and now is in supersonic
Propulsion nominale.
He's telling us that the propulsion is nominal, everything's going well.
La trajectoire est nominale.
Yes.
We can see our rocket in the night skies here. We can still see that P120 engine burning.
Yes, we are towards takeoff. So the stage separation windows is open, and we are waiting for the separation command.
Séparation du P120.
We have
Allumage
confirmation
40.
there from the range operations manager that we have separated the first stage, the P120, and ignited the second stage, the Z40, and he's telling us that propulsion is nominal. We've reached Mach 6.
Trajectoire nominale.
Now we are 6 times quicker than the sound.
And we've started what we call the dogleg maneuver.
Yes, the dogleg is the name of coming from the shape of this maneuver. It's a very steep maneuver, and it's done just after the ignition of Zephyr 40 because you have very low loads, aerodynamic loads, and so you can also do maneuvers very, very steep. And this normally due for safety reasons like geographical constraints or visibility constraints.
And we're burning, right now, we're burning the Z40, the second stage.
Yes, and now we are also protecting, we have also, from with some seconds, we will be so high that we will be able to release the fairing, because the fairing is useful when you are in the lower part of the atmosphere. When the density is decreasing, you can release the fairing.
And we get a very good shot there of the fairing. This is our animation of what's been planned for the journey. You can see the fairing is that bulbous section. The front of the rocket, the top of the rocket is containing our satellite. And as you say,
it's very important because it protects the Smile from aeroacoustic vibration at liftoff and from friction during the lower part of the atmosphere. And it protects from aerodynamic loads and also on thermal loads.
Trajectoire nominale.
The trajectory on the left-hand side. The green line is the planned trajectory, the yellow line the actual trajectory, and that's how it looks when we lose the Z40. And he's confirmed that we've switched on the Z9, the next stage, and we have jettisoned the fairing. As you say, we're now in space effectively, and we don't need it anymore. And he's telling us the propulsion is nominal. So we are now burning the Z9, the third stage, the Zefiro 9.
Yes, it's a very powerful stage. During this phase, the speed goes from 15,000 to 27,000 kilometers per hour. That is about 30 times the velocity of a commercial aircraft.
That's fast. And we can see SMILE, it's the gold structure. It's actually now exposed to the cold vacuum of space for the first time. Can you just talk us, say, from right to left, Irene, what we're looking at? On the right-hand side, obviously, we can see the engine burning, and then the white structure in the middle.
Yes. Sure, Katie. The white part is the motor, so the Zefiro 9 and the Avum. Then you have the black conical structure that is the payload adapter. This is to support the payload and also to push it when we have reached the target orbit with a gentle release with 4 springs. And the gold is obviously the satellite that is protected with a cover for thermal protection.
And the gold stuff is the thermal protection. And these, as I mentioned earlier, these are computer-generated images. They are showing us a simulation of what's been predicted for the launcher in real time. So it's not actual camera footage from space, but it gives us a great view of what's happening, a visualization. And these are the tracking stations, Galileo in French Guiana, and the tracking station at Saint-Jean-du-Maroni.
La propulsion est nominale.
We have twisted and facing upwards. Why is that?
Yes, this is the so-called neutral axis maneuver. It's performed just before the separation of Zefiro 9 to orient correctly the Zefiro 9 before separation and make it re-entry in a predefined zone.
And just briefly, we've also started something called closed-loop guidance.
Yes, you are right. And during Zefiro 9, we have the so-called closed-loop guidance. That is a guidance that recomputes on board the desired trajectory, considering the actual state of the launcher.
Séparation du Z9.
So it keeps us on track.
Fin de visibilité de Saint-Jean.
And we've separated the Z9. It's burnt its propellant. It's done its job. We don't need it anymore. And we are now, there again is a good view of our tracking stations and our flight path. So, Irene, right now, at this point, normally we would switch on the upper stage. The upper stage is that white disc that you can see there. But we're not doing that today, are we?
Yes,
why is that?
Indeed. That's right, because SMILE is quite different from a sun-synchronous orbit mission. And so we have to wait about 13 minutes in coasting phase before igniting again the Avum. And in this phase, the launcher is just controlled by roll and attitude control system.
So we're in a coasting phase right now. And actually, we've got a good view of SMILE now, and you can see that it's actually got a very bulbous shape to it. That's sort of the gold structure being kind of very, very bulbous. It's the only way I can think of to describe it. And that's actually the fuel tanks, isn't it?
Yes.
And we've got a lot of fuel on board because we're going a long way. We've got to travel a third of the way to the moon. It's a long way.
A very long journey. So after the launcher release, the satellite will